Hi there, Victor Pross speaking to you, anarchist artist. Okay, part 2 of freedom in relationships. Just a quick little recap here. I was talking about how there's all different types of relationships. There's personal relationships. There's business relationships. The business relationships could be a matter of whatever kind of the trade is. Let's say that you're a customer, you're hungry, you want to go for dinner, so you go to a restaurant, you eat the meal, you chug it down, have a couple of brewskis, you're happy, you're full, your thirst is quenched, and comes time to pay the bill, you haven't got the money. It's a problem right there, right? It's the business relationships, like any other kind of relationship, is a trade-off. You can trade it in whatever, you can make an arrangement ahead of time with the restaurant manager and say, hey, I'll give you a bushel of apples that grew in my tree for the meal that you're giving me now, or I'll make up some business cards for you. I work at a print shop, and if you need some business cards, well, whatever. It's a trade-off. It's a mutual cooperative relationship by mutual consent for mutual benefit. That's the nature of that relationship. It's a trade in goods and services. You get the idea. That encompasses every type of business relationship. It's a trade-off. It's not so much the issue of what's being traded. It's an issue that trade is taking place. So, and I was asking, that's the nature of that relationship. So, when it comes to personal relationships, what is the trade there? Any type of personal relationship, family or friendship, romantic, whatever. What is the trade-off? What's the trade-off? The trade-off that I introduced in the first video is a spiritual trade. And by which I mean in a secular sense when I say spiritual. Do not think of genuflecting and going to church and praying to God. I am talking about within the realm of esteem and emotions. I am not getting all gooey and soft age on you. We all have personal relationships. We all value them. We all want them. We all need them. It's part of the human condition. I think you might even say it's a little nugget that's tucked away in there in human nature, since people are really big on human nature. Of course, whenever they speak about human nature, it's always in a deplorable way. But let's say that companionship and love and esteem is a part of our human nature. Okay, so now what happens when you are not finding that trade-off, and how do you know? Like, how do you know when you're being ripped off? Well, my friends, I'm going to tell you straight. I'm not going to hold back. I am not going to hold back in this and be all apologetic for my views. If you are not getting a trade-off in personal relationships, then the thing to do is to get the fuck out of there. Okay? There you go. Get the fuck out of there. If you are being abused, and by abused I just don't mean physical, which, is beyond the pale. I mean, like, maybe I'm stating the obvious here, but when you look at a lot of the relationships that are going on out there, and the type of people who are putting up with even physical abuse and just staying there and kind of like rolling back for more. I mean, you hear of these type of things where, you hear of situations where girls are being battered by their boyfriends, but they go back because they love him and blah. I mean, it's heartbreaking. It's deplorable. It's disgusting. And in a lot of cases, I do have sympathy for people who are in some kind of emotional lock, and whose self-esteem is so wretched and on a Richter scale of 0, but it becomes at a certain point that where my sympathy ends. Like if you burn your hand on the stove because you picked up a pot and you burned yourself. It's an accident. And you pick it up again, and you figure, oh, maybe I thought it cooled down. I thought I turned the heat off. You made a mistake. So you made a mistake again. You burn your hand. But at some point, it has to stick with you. Elements are on. Picking up the pot, it requires a mitt, but I'm putting my hand on the stove or whatever, and you get burned. You do it again. Get burned. Do it again. Burned again. Burned again. Burned. Well, go fuck yourself. Okay, so there you go. Go fuck yourself. You get what you're asking for now. Um, the first and the second time, even the third time, yeah, like let me help you with that wound. I'm getting the band-aids, I'm calling the doctor, whatever the case needs to be. All the sympathy in the world comes from me. But after a certain stage, if you just put up with bullshit, you're asking for it. Sounds kind of harsh, but let me just carry that thought out a little bit further. Um, when I say, what I mean by is, what is the trade-off in a personal relationship? And I say that it's emotional, it's an exchange of spiritual values. You might ask yourself, well, what is the measurement of that? Like, how do I know when I'm being abused in a relationship? Well, maybe sometimes these things can be very troubling. I know I don't mean to simplify the psychology of the situation. Sometimes it's a matter of a great deal of introspection and soul searching. You got to ask yourself, like, what's going on in this relationship? Why am I uneasy with it? Is it something that I should try to salvage and work out? Or is it just something that I should declare the patient dead on arrival and move on? And I would say to you, I agree that this is nothing that is immediately available to your conscious mind, and there could be emotional entanglements that's hard to uncover and unravel. But I would put it to you, though, that your subconscious knows. Deep down, somewhere in the pit of your stomach, you know how you feel about that person, the person in question. You know how you feel. It might not be something that's immediately available to your conscious mind. You might have some emotional residue and entanglements, and it's not the easy thing to pack up and leave. And I just don't mean like circumstances where maybe you're in a small town, you just can't, pack up and move. Maybe you haven't got maybe money is the issue. Whatever. I granted all that stuff. I'm just talking about the emotional entanglements of letting go of a relationship that is detrimental to you in the long run. I would put it to you that you do know. You do know how you feel about that other person. And it could be very subconscious, but that is the type of thing that you have to work out. It's nothing that you can go to a psychologist. You can do soul searching. You can think about it. You could sit down and try to talk to the person, try to communicate. And if it just goes on, whatever the nature of that, what's going on in that relationship, let's just say that it's an abusive relationship. It's one where you're being exploited and demeaned and all that type of fun stuff. Sit down and talk. It comes to no avail. Well, at a certain point, you have to pick up the moral responsibility for your life. Nobody else can do that for you. It might be very painful, it might be difficult, but I put it to you once again that if you're getting poor service at some kind of restaurant, you're not getting service at all, or you paid for the services or the product and you didn't get it, if you're quick to act on that, you should be very well quick to act on this, because life is too fucking short. Life is too fucking short. You have to ask your purpose. What is the point of having a boyfriend, girlfriend, or friends in my life? What's the fucking point? And if you're not getting that, then get the fuck out and correct it. Okay, easier said than done, maybe, but and somebody would say, well, duh, brilliant insights. Well, okay, I never said that I'm coming across something earth-shaking, astounding here, like an Einstein discovery. But you have to ask, like, why do people put up with fucking bullshit relationships that drag out for fucking years? Okay, maybe it's about time to state the obvious, for me, it's very simple. It's all very simple. To a certain point, it becomes too blatantly fucking simple. Among the complexities that can be there. For those people who find that it's some kind of virtue, however, to put up with bullshit from others, whether that be their family members, and they figure, well, I'm a spiritual person, I'm a Christian, I believe in turning the other cheek, and I believe in selflessness, and I think it's a measurement of how good I am if I put up with people's bullshit. And I think that what you're saying, Victor, is rather draconian. One wrong move and you just jettison people out of your life. And all I have to say to that is, if that's the type of moral that you would extol and the type of what you consider to be virtue, and then whatever emotional rewards you reap from that, whether it be misery and unhappiness, and if you're extolling that as a virtue to put up with people's bullshit, then I say, go to town. There you go. Go to town. It's your fucking life. I don't care. Like I say, I feel sorry for people who come into situations that are beyond their control. They're the victim of these type of bullshit, manipulative, condescending, demeaning relationships. And if you want to sit there and extol it as a virtue because you'll put up with it, well then, go to town. It's your fucking life. You get what you deserve. You get what you ask for. So if that sounds mean-hearted and whatever, I'm just saying, well, no, because you're asking for it. You're saying, here's my hand, here's the stove. I know the stove would hurt when I put my hand on it, but I'm doing it anyway. Well, I can't help you. Can't help you. All I can do is tell you the conclusions that I've come to in my life, and if you take any value from that, I'm happy to be of service. And thank you so much for listening. Victor Pross, anarchist artist, Pop Goes the Culture.